Hello all you shining stars, welcome to my channel Shining Star Soup. In today's video I'm going to be doing a get ready with me all about role playing. And you're probably wondering what role playing is. If you've seen my role playing music videos, you might be wondering what the heck is this all about, so I'm about to tell you during my get ready with me. Alright, so role playing when it comes to message boards is like writing a story between two people, and you create characters. Some people call them muses, and you basically decide on a storyline, or you hopefully when you start getting more in debt and you start developing your writing skills, you start having like a background for the character, or like you give them personalities and traits, and it is a learning experience. You're basically writing a book but with another person. That's generally the basic idea of it. And when I first started role playing, like there are many platforms that you can write with other people. There is message board, there used to be easy board, there's live journal. Some people write through live journal, some people write through Twitter, AOL when it still existed. There is Tumblr, there is oh, there was one I was thinking of that was like RPG Central or something. And some people do it over Discord. They will do, like, if you're not into, completely not into role-playing at all and you have no idea what it is, if you're creative and you like to write, there you go. I mean, it's just one of those things. So for a long time, I've done most of my writing on Tumblr, and I've had a bit of drama myself where people kind of blur the lines, where they don't realize that the relationships, you can develop relationships with the people that you write with. It's just important to remember that they are not the character that they write. Especially for those that write canons. Canons being like writing Captain America. Like portraying the actual character as if you're the actual writer. OCs are original characters. They might be based on a TV series, but they're not the actual character themselves. It's it can be pretty hard when people start to get attached, but they kind of blur the lines where they forget that you are not the character. I've run into that a couple times. I mean, I've gotten attached before I was married. I've gotten attached to some of the people that I write with, where I have gone as far as, you know, getting jealous, envious, trying to get their attention when I see them writing with somebody else. But I've also had people treat me that way as well. Like to forget that my character that I write is just that, a character. You know, not me. I don't look like, you know, whatever face claim I'm using. And that's another thing. You do use face claims. Mine is Dylan O'Brien. I've also used Luke Evans, Summer Glau, Mads Malikison, even though I probably butchered his last name. But when you, and then some people you write with for maybe a week, but I have a couple of role-playing partners that I've we've developed storylines and characters over a period of, oh man, 8 years. I think the longest is 8 or 9 years that me and this one lovely lady from the States and I have been, you know, developing stories together and writing our muses together. Me personally, my genre of choice is Wonderland. Just because when you're writing Wonderland, the sky's the limit, right? You basically expect wild and crazy and wacky storylines, plots, and stuff like that. So it's a bit of a genre that anything goes. You want to see bread and butterflies? Go for it. You want a muse that can walk through the mirrors, create mirrors at will, travel the realms through the mirrors, manipulate emotions? You can do that. It's your imagination and you're writing it, so like, why not just go for it? But again, there is a human being, an actual human being behind the words that are going on in the screen. And I've shared a couple of stories on my story times Sundays when I was doing those, where I talk about relationships and just terrible things that have happened and the messes I've found myself in growing up. Most of my relationships, and this is kind of sad looking back on it now, have all been through role-playing. Through storylines that I've written with other people. You know, you develop this character, and sometimes the line gets blurred. And it's on both ends, on my end and on the other person's end. Out of the, I'm going to say 15 relationships I've had in my past, at least a good dozen of them were people that I met online. I've always been someone, up until recently, that has had very low self-esteem. So for me, writing and meeting people through writing was the only way I could get any sort of companionship or relationship. And because of that, I unfortunately have gotten my heart broken. I've gotten myself in some dangerous situations, but I will have to admit, I have always gotten myself out of them. A lot of times it's because of my grandmother, who's bailed me out of bad situations, and just kindness from random strangers here and there. I've been so stressed over drama happening on role-playing that, you know, I've gotten stressed, I've been in tears, I've just, you know, let it bleed into my real life. And that's not a good thing. I started writing when I was like in my early 20s, and I'm still writing now. So I've been role-playing on different platforms for over 20 years. And I will probably keep writing until I am old and gray. I enjoy it. I have an imagination, And I don't want to lose that. I don't feel that writing and, you know, role-playing has an age limit. And I pride myself on being a very good writer. I pride myself on being able to come up with very fun and engaging plot lines and storylines where my writing partner is excited, I'm excited. It's like watching a TV show, except instead of like seeing moving pictures, you're watching the television series in your mind. And I like character development, and my writing over the years has grown. It's developed. I have more people seeking me out now. You know, reaching out to me saying, "Can you please write with me?" Just especially on Tumblr. But the one thing about Tumblr is, and it's an issue. You really have to be careful with it. The age. The average age for those writing on Tumblr is anywhere between 14 to 21 years old. That's the general age consensus, I guess you could say, when it comes to Tumblr. And people can lie about their age, obviously. Me, I can't. I advertise my YouTube channel on my Tumblr, and they can come online and clearly see I am not an 18, a 14, or even a 21-year-old. But not all the time are you able to find out how old a person is. And it's kind of like you could be writing what they call smut. If you don't know what smut is, we'll just say adult kind of writing. You could be writing that with someone who turns into who you don't realize is a 14-year-old underage. And you know, you might get an angry parent, and you can't really... No, Jose, stay down. You can't really guarantee that either. You just got to assume, you got to put it out there in, you know, somehow that you're not, you have an age limit, you're not comfortable, you must be 18, blah, blah, blah. You can do what you can, but not all the time the person on the other side of the screen is going to be honest about their age. I have never run into any problems myself as far as I know, when it comes to writing adult content with an underage person. I mean, and Tumblr in particular has really stepped down on the things that they will allow and show. Like not safe for work posts. That does happen a lot. And they'll hide it, or they'll just completely take it off the feed. But you do have opportunities to, I really like that, to tell people that, hey, you know, you take it and then not safe for work, right? And you go with it. So, but it does happen, and like I said. So then I got into making role-playing music videos. But role-playing and writing has really kind of opened me up. You know, it has given me an opportunity to be creative, to realize that I am actually pretty creative. But like with anything that you're gonna do, it's definitely, there's gonna be drama. There is drama whenever you are dealing with other people on a large scale. Twitter, which people do use for role-playing, and I've used before, and I've had my fair share of drama when I tried to play a canon. Oi, oi, oi. Twitter, unless you are writing in private, you know, unless you are just one-on-one on a private platform like Discord or AOL when AIM existed, you are going to have drama. It's just the way it happens. Because people, like I mentioned, they blur the lines. It was a pretty vulgar palette I've used to create this look. They blur the lines. They get attached to a fictional character, is what it boils down to. Getting attached to a fictional character. And like I mentioned, I'm guilty of that too. But diving into music videos. Songs and music are a great way to get inspired when you're writing or when you're creating videos. And music videos are definitely something that I really enjoy. I'm not going to create a cat eye today. I like my eyes the way they are with the pretty vulgar palette. And I don't care if it makes me sound egotistical. Or I have a lot of pride in the music videos that I have done. When I first started out, you know, I had a bit of problems, editing problems, whatever. And there are techniques that I haven't mastered, but all in all, I am very happy with my music videos. And with that, I use the plot lines and the writing that I've done with my role-playing partners to create kind of a plot line and a theme when it comes to the video. The song that I choose, the clips that I use. It's a very personal process for me. Like when I watch those videos on my own, I am taken back to, and some of those videos I made back in like 2014 or 2012, years ago. I am taken back to the moment and the memories of what the plot line was, how the characters had chemistry. You know, it's like being taken back to your favorite season of a TV show. Except it's a lot more personal because you were a part of that. You experienced the emotions in the moment. You felt it, just like when you're watching, say, Buffy, or whatever your favorite show is. Me, I'm a diehard Buffy fan. And you get emotionally invested, and you cry when these characters cry. You get angry when these characters get angry. You put yourself into the story, and it's like you are there and you can relate. Role-playing is not any different in the way that you experienced what your muse or your character was feeling. That was the Hank and Henry. I love this double-ended mascara. It's like you're a part of something. And videos, when I make the videos, I get so excited when I'm doing that. The only problem with music videos, unfortunately, is that the songs that inspire my writing the most are copyrighted songs. So, at least in my, I have a lot of copyrighted content on my channel. I've never gotten so bad that, I've gotten a strike over it, because basically what you agree to when you load a video unless the YouTube has completely banned you from using it, you have to agree to allow ads to appear on your video. Even when you put a little copyright claim notice in the little description box, does not stop them from putting your video on hold until you agree that you understand the song is copyrighted and you understand that they are going to be putting ads on your channel. That happens when you do music videos. You might not know that if you're not into that, any of that, like I am. But yeah, no, that happens. And I've had I think I've only had one video been taken down. And I've also had a video that got way more popular than I was expecting it to be. And this was a video I think I created back in 2010 or 2009. It was a long time ago. It wasn't really based on role playing. It was just a song that I thought really fit an anime. And I had uploaded this video onto animemusicvideos.org or something like that. And somebody took it and uploaded it onto YouTube, onto their own account, onto their own YouTube channel. And that video had like 20,000 views. 20,000. And I created it. And all those subscribers, even though it was my creation, added themselves to their channel. So I had reached out to them. And I said, hey, that's my video. And then she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, yeah. And she took it down. And that's how I ended up making... And I uploaded it to YouTube, to my first YouTube channel. Which is not this one. And yeah, that video, again, very popular. Got some dislikes, but big surprise there, right? Not everybody's gonna like everything you create. But yeah, I had, and that was one of my first music videos that I made, and it really kind of got me going into making more music videos. I do enjoy role-playing as a second hobby. YouTube and role-playing. That was the Murad that I used. And the next thing... what am I doing? I'm jumping to primer, aren't I? Yeah, giving that a moment. But, I've had a character that's stuck with me since as long as I can remember. His first name is actually my husband's name. So at least 11 years I've had this character in my head. And this character is a March Hare, an motion manipulating, near walking March Hare with the face claim of Dylan O'Brien. He started out having the face claim of Andrew Lee Potts, who's a British actor. And he has been my most loved and cherished, but also dreaded muse that I've ever had. He's the one that attracts the most attention. He's the one that attracts the most drama. He's the one that's got me in trouble with people and just... Yeah, but he's stuck with me, and I realize I'm referring to him as if he actually exists. And I can be guilty of that as well, because he doesn't actually exist. I created him in my mind as my ideal all around. like my ideal personality, my ideal powers, abilities, the way he reacts to, you know, certain situations, the fact that he's very honest, doesn't say I love you unless he means it. He's basically a character that you know that if he tells you that he loves you, you are real and you mean something to him. Like it's like you've accomplished and it makes you feel special and important. Some people. I'm not saying everybody feels this way, but you know. But he is just a character that is closest to my heart and my overall ideal. And him and I have had a journey together. Outside of like Tumblr, outside of Discord, you know, where I've met people. But I realized that a lot of people liked him and could relate to him and requested him when it came to stories or open starters, and people were, you know, jumping on liking the topics that were always centered around him. But that's just the way it is when it comes to favorite characters. You want to see them, you want to engage, you want to watch their lives because you relate to something that they relate to. I like this look. Alright, so that's my moisturizer. I did my primer. Now I'm onto the foundation. This one I'm going to be spraying with sponge. But yeah. I got my finger all messy, unfortunately. Yeah. But the memories that I remember the most and enjoy the most were the ones that took a while to get there. The ones where you're writing with somebody. One single person. You're going through all these adventures like a TV show for years. Real life years. And you feel when you're writing what the character feels. When their heart gets broken, your heart gets broken. It can be a difficult thing to keep it separated when that is what you're into. So I mean, right now, you know, you're listening to me go on about role-playing, you might think I'm a little crazy. It's like, who is this girl? She's a little nuts. You really have to be partial to the avenue that I am to understand. Like, you'd really have to be a part of that community and like write with people and get involved in these stories on these platforms to understand where I am coming from or anybody else is coming from. Like, I understand if I see a role-playing video or if I see somebody in like OOC at a character making a post about how stressed they are and how hurt they are over the fact that their characters broke up. You might think that's crazy. It's not real. Get out of your head. Why are you getting worked up over it? You can't really understand until you are in it yourself, you know, and you're the one that's been through that. We're human. Rather those emotions come in real life or through a story that you're writing with someone. Where you've spent a year writing with this person, and all of a sudden, you know, the character decides they don't love your character anymore, or they decide to, you know, take off, you know, or just break up. It's, you know, in the back of your head that it's not the person breaking up with you, but it feels like it is. Again, back to the movies and the TV shows. Where you cry when the character cries. You relate. It's like you're in the moment. And you know how it would feel for you if that happened to you. I guess my biggest advice there that I'm saying is that never judge anybody else for, you know, what makes them sad or what makes them happy or what makes them angry. Because, I mean, you don't know if you're not there. You can't possibly relate to whatever they're going through. You're going to see a cut because I need a vape and a drink. Next, I'm going in with the Laura Geller, New York. My favorite platform to write on has always been Tumblr. Tumblr allows you to create your own homepage where you can put the information about your characters, you can do their histories and their personalities, and put your own roles on your main page. Follow people, follow them back, and they follow you. And there's no character limit when it comes to Tumblr. Character limits can suck. Twitter role-playing has to be one of the most frustrating platforms to role-play on because of the 25 character or 45 character limit. Message boards are nice too, except they're not as popular as they used to be. And the thing is with Tumblr, you get like lots of different genres that you can write on or write for, whatever. But when it comes to message boards, there's usually a theme. Like, this is a Buffy the Vampire Slayer role-playing message board. This is a Charmed message board. This is a high school message board, a magical message board. So it's like they are not wanting you to have muses or characters on there that aren't part of the genre. And on message boards, there is usually the message board creator, maybe a couple monitors who decide when you're allowed to write on the board. So you have to make an application form and wait for it to be approved, and then they will move your application form to a different forum. And then, I mean, you can be waiting to get on to start writing with people, sometimes up to like 1 week or 2 weeks. And there are restrictions most of the time. That's why Tumblr is nice, because you don't have to wait for approval. Hell, you don't even have to make a biography. The biography is mostly for other people to know what kind of muse you have, what kind of character you have, if they'd be interested in writing with you. Alright, so I've done the highlighter and the blush. So that's why I don't really go for message boards anymore. Tumblr, no rules, no bounds. Well, now there is, because they don't allow adult content as much as they used to. But yeah, I enjoy writing. Even with all the drama and the frustrations and the stress on the one side that Tumblr has brought me. It's also brought me lifelong friends, good memories. I mean, my friend in the States, who I've met in person, who I've gone to Universal and Disneyland with, and who I send subscription boxes to, and she forwards them to me. I met her through role-playing, through writing on a message board. And her and I had our own adventures, and we had our ups and downs, but I adore her. We're miles apart, and she's one of my best friends. So it's definitely a way to, you know, it's just another avenue to grow, to learn, to enjoy. You just gotta be smart about it, and I have not always been smart about it. Okay. So I am done with my final look. I don't think there was anything I missed. I actually got my eye primer this time. And the products I have used today for my blush. I don't know how to say that. I used Seraphim Botanicals. I didn't do a cat eye today, but I did use my liner designer to get my crease. Hey Honey Trick or Treat Concealer for my eye primer. A whole bunch of brushes. I used the Murad Essential C Day Moisture. I used Too Faced Do You Full Coverage Fresh Glow Foundation. My favorite Peach Perfect Powder. Laura Geller New York for the highlighter. The Hank and Henry for the mascara. Murad Renewing Eye Cream for under the eyes. The Tarte 4-in-1 Rainforest Setting Spray for after I did my foundation and my eyes to set it before I did my highlighter. And my blush. The Pretty Vulgar eyeshadow palette is on my eyes. And I'm going to finish this off with a Pretty Vulgar gold lipstick to finish off the look. Now I do realize that I did kind of get off topic. And I think that happens a lot when you're doing videos. Unless you like are a professional YouTuber and you got a script laid out and you have several different takes. You're going to fumble your words. You're going to get off track, which I did a couple times today. But to sum it up, role-playing is writing a story with somebody else. And it's like writing the script to me. It's like writing a script on an ongoing TV series. Alright. So, all you shining stars, thanks for staying tuned and watching through to my get ready with me all about role-playing. Take care, have a shining star day, and keep being shining stars. Bye!